So, hi everyone. It is 10 to 6 right now, and I had come to you earlier at about 3 o'clock. I was possessed by this urge to um, do our creative free flow that I was going to do tomorrow morning at 11. Um, it just felt so right to do it earlier, and um, I know sometimes we need to honour commitments that we've made with people, but I thought I had a bit of wiggle room, and I thought I really feel in a good place to speak now, and um, so I used the little link that I had sent out to all of you, and I just hit uh, go live and just started talking about myself and about Creator. Um, and then when I finished, I literally hit stop, and then my doorbell went, and it was the girls coming home. They'd been out at homeschool, the little social meetup that they go to, and I just breathed the most enormous sigh of relief that I was seeing them, and that I had also managed to do our sort of creative day a bit early, and that I was going to be able to spend all day tomorrow with the girls without anything else there in the mix. But when I checked it over and played the first wee section back just to see that it was okay, there was no sound. And I had spoken for, I think, nearly an hour. And I had that moment of, oh God, I don't have the strength, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, and actually I'm really angry now. And my mum was here as well, and I guess she could see that I was feeling despondent, and just a bit drained. After feeling so incredibly good, feeling high, feeling like I'd really sort of, yeah, been in touch with something that felt really good to me. So my mum said, come on downstairs, have a cup of tea, and I begrudgingly did that. But I'm here now, and I really want to emphasise the point that when we act, we take action, and we do what we feel we really need to do, and then for some reason it just doesn't happen, or something gets in the way of it, like what happened with me. It just presents me with an opportunity about who I'm going to be, and about how much work I still have to do. Not the work I think I need to do, but the work that really needs to be done, the work with me and me. When I get into these moments where there's no other way out but through, and we can either get through it with a huff and a bad feeling, or whatever the go-to response is when we're in these moments of challenge. But thankfully I caught myself, and I didn't sink too deep or too fast, and I didn't find myself in the situation where it was just feeling heavy and like a burden. So I think off the back of that, I'm kind of wanting to share as openly as I can about Creator, and I've had this question mark about how open can I be, how real can I be, and I guess I'm maybe thinking in that vein a lot more right now because of being back at uni and being really deeply in this therapeutic process with myself and with all the training. And it's really intense and it's incredible. But yeah, Creator has been a sort of bolt out of the blue for me. It's something that just came to me, came through me, and that I had no or didn't have the usual urge to question, because it just felt so right for me at this point in my life. And honestly, it's exactly what I need in my life. I need to feel held. Um, and I do feel that it's at the forefront of my life right now, this sense of needing needing more connection and more togetherness. So I think if I share Creator from my perspective about what it could give me, it might more fully answer on what is there for you. So I aim for and feel quite committed to a daily meditation practice, but it doesn't always happen. And I feel like this year, if I was to stay in that on off relationship with my meditation, that I really wouldn't be held in the same way. And I've got my Kundalini teacher training this year, and I'm at university with my psychotherapy training, and I have my placement with that, and external supervision, and everything else, you know, being a mum, being at home, and also being with Creator, which it might seem like a really strange time to be launching this, but it's as much for me as it is for you. And I really want Creator to exemplify what it is to be a woman who is stepping in and in the midst of all managing to give herself what she needs, for me to be able to figure out what it is I need and find a way to lean into that, and for you to be able to do the same. And I think when I've thought more and more about how I can connect with you about Creator and convey what it means for me, I've had to really stay with my own experience rather than try to imagine what I could make it for you. So I guess I'm trying to really stay true to what I need here. And I deeply, deeply need for my own self-devotion, my own accountability in my life to be the thing that comes first. Because I know when that doesn't happen, there's this very subtle unraveling, and the work that I do has a different charge to it, quite a negative charge, and I can feel incredibly rootless and just sort of being swept along. And I now know what it is to feel that centre, that place of calm, that sense of the sacred. And I think when I initially got the sense of what Creator could be, it had come from that first morning that I had done the live meditation. That was on the 22nd of December, and I did that. And afterwards, the shift in me was so profound that there was just no question that this was going to be my way of being, and my way of connecting with women. And I think that came because of the connection I had made in relation to myself in my life and what I needed. And at that point, from that perspective, I was looking towards Christmas with real ambivalence and sadness, because it was going to be my first Christmas without seeing my brother and my dad. They're not in my life now, and I knew that in order to be in that experience of this new kind of Christmas, feeling all the things that would undoubtedly come up in me, that I was going to have to be able to hold myself. And already in the week prior to the first live meditation, I had noticed that I wasn't really showing up in my practice. I wasn't even really thinking about meditation, and I was kind of caught up with life rather than um, connecting with my life. And so there was this sort of growing awareness in me that if I kept that rhythm, that Christmas would come and it would come and go, and I might feel sad and I might feel different, but I definitely knew if I wasn't meditating that I wouldn't feel a sense of something sacred, something divine, something conscious, something creative, something intentional. I knew I wouldn't feel those things, and when I sat with myself and felt into that, I knew that I was going to have to recommit myself to my practice like never before. And for some bizarre reason, it was feeling like a real challenge to do that. And I'm quite used to daily meditation now, so it was very humbling because we can always come back to a point where our meditation shifts or changes or doesn't feel the same way to us anymore. And that has been the biggest invitation really of my life, because I chose to respond to the invitation with a recommitment to myself, I guess. And what happened in that recommitment was, what do you need, Claire? Like, what is this feeling and what would help it? And I knew that the answer was I needed to meditate. But my response to that need was, I don't want to meditate. It's feeling hard to sit in that meditation. So I was kind of avoiding it, I guess. And the brainwave that I had was, well, if I could find a way to commit myself to this, that meant that I had to be there, what would that be? What would that look like if there was a reason that I had to show up in that meditation? And the answer was to send an invitation to my circle of women, and let them know that I was going to have a live meditation between the 22nd and the 24th of December every morning at 6 a.m. and that I was going to be there. And if they wanted to join me, that I was inviting them in and that I would love to have them there. And after I sent that email, I knew I was committed. I knew that I would be there no matter what. And I got up that first morning tired, woke at 5:45 and went through to my living room and sat in silence. I was so tired. And then I just hit live at 6 a.m. and some of the women were there. And I really actually don't have words for it. It was just so transformational. It took something to a completely different level for me. And I think that level was an intensely spiritual one that lifted me up and allowed me to witness myself differently and feel intensely alive. And that's why I am so passionate about holding sacred space for you, that is live and alive and every day and always there, so that whenever you have that feeling that I had, the one that creates a gap, and a gap that we can fall into, or one that we can find a bridge over. But nonetheless, we're in something that's an in-between. We're sort of caught between being and becoming. And I think that in being in that meditation, I became something else. I became more of what I love about me. And I knew that for me anyway, I'd hit on the thing that I had always needed, and that if I could have found this somewhere, this daily meditation that I could witness other women in from where they are in their life, sharing in something that was familiar to me in a very unfamiliar way, with a new face, a new presence, a new surroundings, new voices, new words, new inspiration. The power in that for me is just totally transcendent, and I felt the power of it when the women who were there reached out and told me how wonderful it'd been for them, and how keen they were for that to happen again. And I definitely was. So I wondered how that could work and what that could be like. And I definitely felt that what would happen, or what it would need to be, is for women to sign up and have access to the meditation. I would always maybe lead for the first day or a couple of days, but that ultimately we would find a way of synchronizing. So we would be on Facebook. We've got a private Facebook page, and it would simply be a case of stepping forward, of saying that you want to do it tomorrow or the next day, or have a date and a time that you definitely want to do. And I can just keep track of who wants to do what and when. And that could be us, really that simple. Just putting our hand up and stepping in and saying, yes, I'm holding the light today, and I'm shining my light today. And there is incredible challenge in that, and I really appreciate how big an ask this is, because every time I go live, I am suddenly a whole lot of everything that maybe I don't want to feel, and some things that I do, but there's a lot of conflict and contradiction in these moments where we ask ourselves to do something that really does feel challenging. But ultimately, I hope that Creator can hold all of us, and that we can uphold, and that we can feel, and that we are capable of holding within ourselves also. So there's a lot to it, and though it's simple, it's the biggest thing that we can ask of ourselves, really, to commit to a sacred space that's shared, and that's a place of sacredness for women, and that we can really look after that and infuse it with goodness. So I think in the sorry, my nose is a bit runny. In the being and becoming sense of it, and that in-betweenness that lingers always, I wanted to sort of deepen my offering, so that there's hopefully an option for everybody. So if the meditation aspect of it and just the live element sounds like your sweet spot, or sounds good to you, or it might just be that you already have a lot of other healing going on in your life, and that you might already be involved in other courses or therapies that are supporting you really well, but that this could actually just be a really nice complement or addition to, and could accompany your other healing work. So for that, and for you, I wanted to offer Creator being, just the alive meditation aspect of that. So you would, it'd be a monthly membership, and you would have access to our private Facebook page where all our meditations would be. And for you who really would like to have a much deeper experience, or to witness in a different way what this feminine way of being is, and what that free flow is all about, and feminine spirituality, and all of the little facets of being that will probably come through in our little school, or where we will hold all of the stuff that comes from the meditation, where we deepen into that. All of that will be a monthly membership too, but it will be £30 for each month. And if you're signing up via Epiphany, which I really encourage you to do, there's a discount code in Epiphany which would let you sign up for £25 per month. And the live meditation version is £15 per month. And I wanted to explain a little bit about the membership or subscription route that I've taken. So that's really just because I was wondering how the meditation would be if I, say, just had an opt-in option for 1 month only, or 1 month at a time sort of thing. And I thought that I would really end up doing a lot more of the work that I don't really want to do, or the stuff that could become quite labour intensive. And I thought if people were signing up and getting access to the Facebook group, and I was adding them and then having to like delete them off once their month was up, it could be quite a lot of unnecessary adding and taking away. And it really didn't feel right to me either, to be welcoming somebody into a space and then asking them not to be in that space anymore. So yeah, I just wanted to have it so that the onus was really on you to decide when you've had what you need, or what's been beneficial to you, and that you would like to leave. And we can do it that way, and you can decide when to. I mean, maybe you won't want to end your membership, but if you did, the option's always there for you just to end your membership. So I just thought that would make my life easier if it could be that way. So, and really, all of this is about being in a process of what feels good, and I really feel determined that I and you and we should be able to have lives and businesses that don't drain us, but that can really that we can come to from a place of fullness, where we don't feel like we've had to empty ourselves in order to be what we want our business to be, for example. So I know that for me, that the only way that this will be of any benefit to you is if it's also of some benefit to me. And I feel like with the kind of work that this is, for me to be drained and stressed and carrying too much would be a lie. It would be such a lie, because I think that I'm trying to embody a way of being that involves connection to our creator, to the thing that allows us to be divinely inspired and divinely held, and to be able to live in the moment and be informed by what we need now, and to be able to live in the presence of that healing presence that's always there, and that can give us the opportunity to always feel capable and ready. And thinking about how I want to connect with women and work with women, I want to do it from a place of fullness. I really don't want this to be a burden, or something that I created and now is too much for me to hold. So I guess I think that's why I really want it to be a co-creation. It's why I need for it to be a co-creation, because I think when we all step in with the intention to hold it and to create in a way that allows us all to sustain the kind of lives that we really want, and hopefully that's what Creator is ultimately about. It's about helping us cultivate that sacred space within us that gives us infinite access to a joyful, creative, free, passionate life, and one that sustains us and holds us and allows us to feel abundant and to align with that abundance. So by me stepping into this, I just hope that even that in its simplicity, the act of me doing this can be of deep service to you on your journey. Because I know that all the inspiration that's moved me to action and that's created the shift in my life has come from witnessing other women differently to me, or in their strength, or in their spirituality, or in their wisdom, in their truth, in their creativity. And I've watched and witnessed and learned from it, and somehow managed to bring it into my own experience and really feel it in an embodied way, to feel the shift that before was so intangible, that I couldn't make traction with in my life. I was aware of wanting a shift, but not capable of creating a shift. So I think the full version of Creator is really my fullest expression of where I am, and my deepest dive. It's everything that I can give to you from where I am. And that kind of deep sharing has been the thing that's really transformed me. So both of those things are there, being and becoming, or both. And I really hope that something in this kind of speaks to you and gives you a sense of what you really need, and perhaps that this could be the thing that allows you to hear that a bit more clearly. But I think the thing that I'm really not offering or promising is any sort of solution, or anything that might fix, or anything that might advise. I simply want to be a healing presence. And my therapeutic work is that it's learning to be comfortable with a certain amount of discomfort and ambiguity in life and in our process, and to in some way be able to transcend that. And most often we transcend these struggles and challenges with just healing presence, with deep listening, and feeling held in sacred space, and being unconditionally positively regarded, and to feel that we are being deeply understood. And I think that's so incredibly powerful, and I don't think that I know you, or am the expert of you, or know more than you. I think you're your own best expert. I think you know what you need. And I simply want to know what that is, and know who you are, and for you to know that I'm here, in exactly the same beauty and bind, as I like to frame it. But yes, this is a space for coming to be. We're not coming to do, we're not coming to force anything, or do anything in particular. The only thing that we're asking of ourselves is if we are ready for this commitment. And it doesn't really matter what the answer to that question is, to be honest, because sometimes I really don't feel ready, but I guess I've created this because in my lack of readiness, I am willing to be open, I am willing to risk, and really ready for my vulnerability to be something that you're allowed to see. So I would deeply, deeply love for you to be in this with me. It's small and mighty right now. We are few. There's not many of us signed up yet, and what will be will be. I have to keep trusting that this is exactly what is needed, because it's exactly what I'm needing, and I really hope that the power that we can come into, and the power of what we can create in this vision that I have for us, really could be the difference that makes a difference. I know that it does for me. I know what sacred space is in my life, and I feel like I'm just really stepping more fully into what that means for me. So if you do have anything else that you wanted to ask me, or anything else you were sort of curious about, or really wanting to be more informed about, then you can get in touch and let me know. But I really just wanted to sit with you and speak from my heart, and let you know I'm a real person with a real life, and that it's all very real, and I'm very much in this. And only yesterday I had a really profound experience, actually, in my university course. And we were doing our large group, and there's 30 of us in that group. And it's non-directed, so we all sit in there, including the tutors, and we're not told what to say, we're not told what to do. There's no focal point, there's nowhere specific to look, there's no agenda, there's just silence and a circle and whatever else is happening inside each and every one of us. And in that space and silence, people will always come in. Not always, actually. Sometimes silence just endures, which is also incredible. But yesterday, somebody risked coming into that space, risked coming into that silence with their story and their voice and their vulnerability. And it was stunningly, stunningly beautiful to witness somebody so real, so incredibly willing to be seen. And I was just touched in some really unexpected and profound way by the sharing that I was sort of witnessing. And my tears have never been so deep and so persistent, and it's just, the sobbing was so heavy and so tangible, and my healing in that moment was so magnified and so witnessed also, because the other people in the circle who were sobbing or crying or in some way moved by what was happening would have probably been feeling all the things that I was feeling, embarrassed and bringing up insecurities and feeling very, very self-conscious. and wondering, what should I do? Should I leave the room? Should I sit in this? And ultimately I stayed and I sat, and one of the trainee therapists beside me offered me, she asked if I was okay, which of course always brings deeper healing and deeper release, because it feels like permission then. And whenever a human being acknowledges emotion, there's something incredibly touching about that, and I think it always moves me to tears, even if I hadn't been crying in the first place. But yes, I sat in a circle where for maybe 15-20 minutes I cried, just tears of sadness, tears of gladness. I just shifted through so many feelings, so many recollections, so many rememberings, so much grief and sorrow and hope and wonder, just everything. And it made me realise just how profound and essential this sense of being in a circle is, this sense of witnessing is, this sense of being vulnerable and being seen really, really is. And so it's very much a part of my life, and something that I'm moving more deeply into as this year progresses. And I just feel so excited actually about holding this in a spiritual way also, and knowing you better and seeing you, deeply seeing you. And I hope that in just being me, that it could be the healing presence in your life that allows you to make the shifts that you need to make and take the turns that you want to take. So with all of that said, I really do hope to see you soon. The 28th of January we start, and I can't wait to see all of the incredible women there. So thank you for listening, for watching and witnessing. And yes, if there's anything else, please do get in touch at sing@sheavethewilds.com. And I always love to hear from you. And thank you to all of you who got in touch. And I hope this has been a nice little surprise for you. And I'll catch up soon.